Hello everyone. Today we will talk about the Unit 3, Lesson 2 about the reproduction in humans. Reproduction in humans. Okay, so why does the reproduction process is very important for us? Why? Because the reproduction process aims to secure to the continuity of living organisms, species, to protect them from extinction. Okay, so in this lesson we will study many subjects related to human reproduction, such as the male genital system, the female genital system, and the structure of the ovum and the structure of the sperm, and then we will study the next session the fertilization and diseases of the genital system. Okay, the first, the human male genital system. The male genital system consists of four main parts: the two testes and the two vas deferens and the genital associated glands, finally the penis. Okay, so the male genital system or the male reproductive system consists of four main parts: the two testes, the two vas deferens, the genital associated glands, and the penis. Okay, let's start with the first component, which is the two testes. Okay, so each part of all components we will study inside it the description of this part and the function of this part, and finally the location inside the body. Okay, finally the description of the two testes. The two testes, they are two testes, okay, take the elliptical shape, and they are located the outside in the body, okay, in the sac called scrotum, and the sac called scrotum, between and hanging between the sides. Okay, what about the function of the scrotum? The scrotum regulates and keeps the temperature 2 degrees Celsius below the temperature, below the normal temperature, okay, to suitable the temperature to suitable the temperature inside the body, be suitable for to growth and the development of sperms. Okay, what about the function of two testes? Okay, the function of two testes are production of sperms. Okay, this is the first one. The second one is production of male sex hormone, which is testosterone. Okay, the testosterone is responsible for the appearance of secondary male sex characters. Okay, so the signs of puberty in male, such as growth of hair in a certain body areas like mustache and beard, harshness of voice, growth of bones and muscles, development of genital organs. Okay, this is the most signs of puberty in male. The second component is two vas deferens. Okay, each testis consists of a group of convoluted convoluted or highly lobed tubes known as epididymis, and each epididymis, okay, extends to form a single tube known as vas deferens, okay. In these tubes, sperms continue the final stage. This is the function of the vas deferens, okay? The function of the vas deferens, development and growth the sperms, okay? So and also the vas deferens, okay, it will be transferred the sperms from the testes to the urethra. Okay. 3. The third component is the genital associated glands. Okay, there are 3 glands connected the human male sex genital system, which are 2 seminal vesicles, and the prostate gland and the 2 Cooper's gland. Okay, what is the function of associated gland? They are secrete an alkaline fluid known as the seminal fluid. Okay, what about this function of seminal fluid? The seminal fluid help in neutralizing the acidity of the urethra. Okay, this is why, because if the sperm is passed through the urethra without seminal fluid, it will be die out. And also contains a lot of nutrients that help the nourishing the sperms and exactly to feeds the sperms and facilitate their flow. The fourth component is the penis. So the penis, it is organ composed of a sponge-like tissue, and the urethra passes through it. The function of the penis, the urine and semen go out through the urethra, okay, but never at the same time. Let's move on to the human female genital system. The female genital system differs from the male because it is adapted, okay, to carry the embryo during the period of pregnancy. So the female reproductive system consists of 4 main parts, okay, which are 2 ovaries, fallopian tubes, the uterus, the vagina. Okay, again, the 2 ovaries, 2 fallopian tubes, the uterus, and the vagina. Okay, this is the shape of the female reproductive system. This is the fallopian, as you can see here, this is the fallopian tube. So we have 2 fallopian tubes, and this is the ovary, 2 ovaries, and this is the vagina, and inside and at the center there is the uterus. Okay, the ovaries is a gland in a size of a peeled almond, and they lie inside the body, exactly in the lower part of the abdominal cavity from the back. What about the function of the 2 ovaries? The 2 ovaries, first, production of ova in process known as ovulation. ovulation process, okay? And this process means the ovaries, each ovary, okay, produce one ripe ovum each 28 days in exchange with other ovary. And also the two ovaries production of two hormones. The first one called progesterone. The first one called progesterone. The progesterone help during the period of pregnancy. And the second hormone called estrogen. Okay. Estrogen is responsible for the appearance of the secondary female characters. Okay, so the signs of female puberty in female, the first one, growth of armpit and pubic hair, softness of voice, growth and development of breasts, and also accumulation of fats in some body regions, and the start of menstrual cycle. Okay, but pay attention, the menstrual cycle starts at the age from 18 to 14 and stops at the menopause at the age from 45 to 55. So as you can see here, the menstrual cycle starts at the age of 14 to 11 to 14 years and stops at the age of menopause from 45 to 55 years. Okay, the menstrual cycle takes place every 28 days as long as no pregnancy happens. Okay. The second component is fallopian tubes. Each tube starts with a funnel-shaped opening with a finger, okay? And each tube ends off finger-like projections, Okay, these tubes are adapted to receive the ovum, and direct it to the uterus, direct it towards to the uterus. Okay, so how can the ovum, okay, move from the ovary to the uterus? By construction and relaxations of fallopian tube, and by the cilia, okay, the fallopian tube lined with inside it with cilia. The third component called the uterus. The uterus lies in the pelvic cavity between the urinary bladder and the rectum, and it is a pear or a hollow peared shaped, okay, organ which with a muscular wall that can expand as the fetus grows during the pregnancy. Okay, so the uterus is lined by a mucous membrane rich in blood capillaries called placenta. Okay, so the placenta is responsible for the nourishment, the embryo, okay, by umbilical cord, Okay, this is the umbilical cord. So the umbilical cord, all nourishment, okay, inside it and to feed the embryo. Finally, the vagina extends from the uterus to external genital opening, okay, and it is a muscular tube that expands during the labor to deliver the baby, or the embryo. Okay, let's move on to the structure of ovum. So the ovum is a static spherical cell, and that is relatively large in size, okay, and consists of three main parts, okay. The first one, the nucleus, that has one half of genetic material for the species. Genetic materials, it has another name called chromosomes. That means the nucleus that has one half of chromosomes. And also the ovum surrounds with a cellular membrane, and inside it there is a cytoplasm. The cytoplasm stores the food, okay, stores the food and nutrients. The structure of sperm. The sperm described as a mobile cell. Why? Because the sperms, they can move, okay, they can move to reach the ovum. But if you're comparing between the size of sperm and the size of ovum, you will note that the size of sperm is very smaller than the size of ovum. And consists of the head and the second component called MBS and the tail. The head, which contains one half of chromosomes or genetic material, and the MBS, okay, this part, the middle part, which contains the mitochondria, which is responsible for the energy production needed to the movement of sperms. Okay. Finally, the tail, which is the thin and long, and is responsible for the movement also the sperms to reach the ovum. Okay, so this is that's enough for today. Okay, the next session, inshallah, we will continue the rest of lesson. Thank you.